Welcome to LDA Learning English Your Daily, companion for improving your listening and speaking skills. Every episode brings you real stories, useful vocabulary, and natural conversations to help you learn English the fun way. Today, we continue with 5 brand new stories that will not only entertain you, but also make your English learning more exciting and enjoyable. Story 1, Kitchen Table is a type of politics. On this program, we explore words and expressions in the English language. We give examples and notes on usage. Today, we talk about different kinds of politics. We start with kitchen table politics. The kitchen is often considered the hub or center of the home. It is where we gather to not only share a meal, but to talk about the events of the day. We often discuss issues of importance with our family and friends around the dining room table. So, kitchen table issues are those that affect individuals and their families daily. A family might discuss these issues at the kitchen table during mealtimes. Rising gas and food prices are 2 good examples of kitchen table politics. These issues affect decisions we make day to day. They are sometimes also called dinner table politics, or we could describe them as bread and butter issues. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines bread and butter issues as being as basic as the earning of one's livelihood. The online Cambridge Dictionary defines a bread and butter issue as a subject or problem that relates directly to most people as needs and interests. For example, affordable food prices and availability of good. Healthcare are the kinds of bread and butter political issues that people vote on. The noun bread and butter means a way of making a living. For example, for a creative writer, her ideas are her bread and butter. So, bread and butter political issues deal with our ability to provide for the needs of ourselves and our families. Next, let's talk about green politics. These political issues deal with caring for the natural environment. Green politics can cover ideas such as environmental sustainability, recycling, and threats to wildlife. The natural world is central to green politics. Identity politics is more personal. This term means that a person's political views are formed by their experiences and understanding of themselves. Things like gender, age, social and economic position, and religious belief can inform identity politics. Finally, we come to gotcha politics. This type of politics is centered on damaging opponents through public accusations of wrongdoing or misbehavior. Gotcha politics often involves investigation into the private lives, past and present, of politicians in search of negative information. In gotcha politics, gotcha is short for I got you, meaning I caught you. Story 2, sometimes we spread ourselves too thin. Many people have family and work responsibilities. We might have religious or community activities. Taking care of our health is also important. And let's not forget about our personal projects, our interests, and our friendships. With everything on our plate, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, overextended, and overcommitted. However, if we try to do too much, we may spread ourselves too thin. This expression means we have taken on too much. We are pushed to the limit. People who are spread too thin take on too many jobs, projects, or goals. The heavy load requires more energy or attention than they possess. If we work on many projects simultaneously or at the same time, it is possible that none will get done well, if they get done at all. And it is possible such multitasking could stress us out. Being spread too thin can also be described as biting off more than we can chew. When we bite off more than we can chew, we attempt to do more than is possible. Here's a LDA Learning English in a minute video explaining the idiom to bite off more than you can chew. Now, let's hear some of these terms and expressions used in a conversation. A. So, how are your classes going? B. Not great. Many of my best students are failing my course. They all missed an important deadline for a project. A. That's strange. What else do they have going on? B. A lot. They are all performing in the same play. So they have had rehearsals every night for the past month. And many have part-time jobs as well. Sounds like they've spread themselves too thin. They've got too much going on. B, I think you're right. A, so what are you going to do? B, well, first I'll extend the deadline. And then I'm going to warn them about biting off more of than they can chew. Story 3, knee-jerk and gut reactions. When we're not in control in life, some of our decisions and actions are well thought out. They involve research, examination, and time for thought. And other decisions and actions are not well thought out. We make them quickly without thinking, almost like a pure physical reaction. We can call these decisions, actions, or reactions knee-jerk. This term comes from a medical process. Merriam-Webster defines the noun knee-jerk as an involuntary forward kick produced by a light blow on the tendon below the kneecap. It is an involuntary action. It's automatic. The words involuntary and automatic are important when understanding the term knee-jerk and when to use it. Knee-jerk reactions seem to happen automatically without a decision-making process. We often use knee-jerk as an adjective. Like hitting your kneecap to move your leg, knee-jerk reactions or statements also seem like an involuntary reflex. Knee-jerk also describes predictable behavior. Again, hit the knee, the leg will kick every time. So knee-jerk describes someone who always reacts quickly and without enough thought. For example, let's say you are on a team with someone who never faces responsibility for their mistakes in the game. If brought to account, the player always blames the dropped ball on other teammates. You can say that player is having a knee-jerk reaction to criticism. They have a go-to response. It's like a reflex they can't control. We often use knee-jerk in a criticizing or negative way. Now, a gut reaction also happens without thinking. But it is a bit different than a knee-jerk response. A gut reaction is a feeling. When we have a gut reaction, our instincts are telling us that something may not be right. Gut reactions are instinctual warnings. So we also use this expression a bit differently than knee-jerk. We usually talk about our own gut reactions or impulses, not others. Here's an example. One day, I was hiking on a mountain in California. I had hiked for about 2 hours and was near the top. The view, I was told, was truly beautiful. I couldn't wait to see it. Then suddenly, I had a strange feeling. Something just didn't feel right. I can't explain why, but my gut instinct was to turn around and head back down the mountain. I later found out that a dangerous bear had been sighted in the same area that I had fled. I am so thankful I listened to my gut instinct. Story 4, the story of Jack Frost. If this is your first time with us, this program explores words and expressions commonly used in American English. We take a look at where they come from and how best to use them. So, as winter officially comes to half the world, today we celebrate an expression that means winter is coming. When temperatures drop and a cold snap comes, that means one thing: Jack Frost has arrived. Jack Frost represents the coming of dark, cold days. He is the personification of winter, a human form of winter weather. So when we say, Jack Frost is nipping at your nose, we mean that you feel the cold, icy effects of winter on your face. A frozen leaf lies on a bush as the sun rises in Munich, Germany, Friday, December 6, 2019. A pay photo, Matthias Schrader. A frozen leaf lies on a bush as the sun rises in Munich, Germany, Friday, December 6, 2019. A PFO, Matthias Schrader. When a frost or deep freeze comes, you had better bundle up. You should wear enough clothing to stay warm. Now, Jack Frost does indeed bring the cold of winter, but he can also create beauty in nature. Some traditions claim that Jack Frost is responsible for leaving ice and snow on windows, trees, the ground, anywhere it will stick. While we know frost is a natural event, it is fun to think that an imaginary creature named Jack Frost, or another name in some other cultures, change the world into a winter wonderland? That is what poet Hannah Flagg Gould 178911865 must have been thinking when she wrote a poem called The Frost. Here are parts of that poem. The frost looked forth one still clear night, and he said, "Now I shall be out of sight." Then he went to the mountain and powdered its crest. He climbed up the trees, and their boughs he dressed with diamonds and pearls. Leaves covered with frost are seen in garden in Peremilovo village, 63 kilometers, 40 miles north of Moscow, Russia, Saturday, November 24th, 2012. A photo, Alexander Zemlyanichenko. Leaves covered with frost are seen in a garden in Peremilovo village, 63 kilometers, 40 miles north of Moscow, Russia, Saturday, November 24th, 2012. A photo, Alexander Zemlyanichenko. A conversation. With all of its beauty and extremes, winter is a great subject for songs and poetry. But now, let's listen to how we use these wintry expressions in conversation. Brr. It is freezing outside. This cold snap came out of nowhere. I don't care how cold it is. I'm going on a hot date. Is that all you're wearing? You need to bundle up or Jack Frost will be nipping at more than your nose. I'll be fine. I'm wearing my new coat, that it is not a winter coat. I mean, it looks great, but it's much too thin. You will catch a cold. I know. You can wear my new down coat. It keeps you warm up to minus 30 degrees Celsius. I'm going on a date, not exploring the Arctic Circle. Thanks, but I'm not wearing that big, thick black coat. Besides, the taxi will take me from door to door. But what if something goes wrong? What if the car skids on the ice and is involved in an accident? You'll have to walk to the restaurant. You might freeze to death. No, I won't. I'll just call an Uber to come and get me. And what if that vehicle runs out of fuel? Then you'll have to walk to get more. No, the Uber driver will. I'll just call another car. What if that new Uber driver is a pregnant woman and she goes into labor? You'll have to help. You'll have to wait outside in the cold until help arrives. And the roads are already covered with 5 centimeters of snow. It could take the ambulance an hour to get to you. If you're wearing that thin coat, you'll catch your death. The EMTs will find you frozen solid like a block of ice. Stop. You win. Give me your coat. Good decision. Here's my ride. Don't forget gloves, a hat, and a scarf. Okay, goodbye. Have fun. Story 5, kicking off a new year. One of the most popular sports in the United States is American football. In the US, football is a sport that involves a lot of contact. What people around the world call football, Americans call soccer. For today's show, we talk about some idioms and expressions that come from American football. The American sport mainly involves carrying or throwing the ball, but there are times when a player must use their feet to kick the ball. The kicker can kick field goals to get points. In addition to that, the game starts with a kickoff, and after scoring points, a team will kick off to the other side, beginning their turn on offense. Kicks and punts. The term kickoff is commonly used to describe the start of an event or project. For example, we could say experts from all over the world attended the kickoff of the new language museum. You can use it as a phrasal verb as well. For example, people often like to kick off the new year with a resolution or promise to yourself to reach a goal or to do something. Football also has the term punt. Punting is another sort of kick a team uses when they cannot score. The punter kicks a ball with the top of his foot. Punt, like kick, can be both a noun and a verb. When you punt the ball, you put it in play for the other team. The same can be said for punting in life. When we punt something, we give our task, job, or responsibility to someone else. For example, if I'm not good at a certain task or I just don't want to do it, I can punt it to someone else. It can also mean to delay a decision. If I'm not sure about taking a trip, for example, I can punt the decision until later. Another way to say this in American English is to table it. If you are not ready to think about something, it can or must wait until later. In football, the kicker not only starts the game with a kickoff, but also kicks field goals. To do this, the kicker must kick the football between the goalposts at either end of the football field. If he succeeds, his team gets 3 points. Kicking a field goal can be difficult if the kicker is far from the goalposts or if the weather in an outdoor stadium is windy, rainy, or snowy. But imagine if the goalposts were moving. That would make kicking the ball between them much more difficult. To move the goalposts, we can face this problem in everyday life. Imagine if you are given a task at work with specific goals to reach. For example, if you are a social media manager, you could be asked to increase followers by 10,000 by the end of the month. But when the end of the month comes, your boss tells you that now you need to add 20,000 followers. Sometimes a person moves the goalposts on purpose. They have a reason for doing so. If the goalposts keep moving, it is difficult or even impossible to reach the goal. So if you say that someone has moved the goalposts, you are accusing them of changing the rules or end goals to make it difficult for you to succeed. We can also say to move the target to mean the same thing. A moving target is a changing goal or result. A desired goal, end, or objective that changes all the time is difficult or perhaps even impossible to reach. Both expressions, to move the goalposts and to move the target, can be used in the same way and in similar situations. However, moving the goalposts is a classic football expression, while moving the target can refer to several sports. And that's all for today's episode of LDA Learning English. Be sure to come back for more stories and lessons to help you master English step by step. Until next time, I'm Luyện. Thanks for listening.